Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to ROH Pure Championship. I'm your host, Robert. Ring of Honor, Final Battle, End of an Era. So tonight on Fight TV and on Honor Club, we had Ring of Honor's Final Battle, End of an Era. As we all have heard, Ring of Honor will be going on hiatus between now and April 2022. They said after Final Battle, there's 2 weekly shows already taped. Those will be up, and then hiatus until at least April. There's rumors that they'll be done completely, and there's rumors that they'll be back. I think that if this was the final show ever in the history of the Ring of Honor company, it was a really good show. A couple of these matches, probably some of their best matches, honestly. I started watching Ring of Honor in 2007, so I've seen a ton of people, American Dragon, go from Ring of Honor to WWE and on AEW. Adam Cole, Kevin Steen, El Generico, Chris Hero, Claudio Castagnoli, and three Ring of Honor shows live back in 08, 09 in Collinsville, Illinois, and then the 9th anniversary show in Chicago. So it's like I've seen Ring of Honor as it kind of started up and they kind of fell back down and stuff. I've been following for quite a number of years. We're going to run on this card. There's a couple things that I think I could see happening for the future. But you know what? There's so much talent here that in 2022, the independent wrestling scene will be the best it's ever been. All right, so we had 3 pre-show matches, which was unbelievable. And what's amazing is these matches were beyond good when I didn't expect them to be good. First match we had for the Ring of Honor 6-man tag titles. We had the Righteous, which is Vincent, Dutch, and Bateman, going up against Shane Taylor Productions, who are the Ring of Honor 6-man tag champions. Shane Taylor was on the main card, so we had O'Shea Edwards taking his place with Kaun and Moses. O'Shea Edwards, pretty big dude. Pretty scary looking dude too. When you got somebody as big as he is, he's like 6'5", I think, 300 some pounds, doing blanches off the top rope, or whatever the hell the move's called. Flips off the top rope, diving on people. You have Dutch do the spiral dive over the top rope. It's like you got big dudes flying. This match got really good. I mean, it started out just all 6 guys, going at it. Had some high flying spots there. We have new 6-man tag titles: the Righteous, Vincent, Dutch, and Bateman. So that was pretty cool seeing them win those titles. I even given the match 3 1/4. So it was a good match. It's a great match to kind of start off a show like this. We had a 6-woman tag match. We had Miranda Alize teaming up with the Allure, which is Angelina Love and Mandy Lamone. They were going against the team of Chelsea Green and the Hex, which is Allysin K and Marti Belle. The Hex are currently NWA Women's World Tag Team Champions and Shine Tag Team Champions. So I could see the Allure actually going to NWA and doing things and going up against the Hex. And this is a typical 6-woman tag match, nothing really special. The Allure and Angelina Love, Mandy Lamone, and Miranda Alize getting the victory. I ended up giving it 2 3/4 star. Nothing special, just pretty typical match. Next up, we had a 10-man men's tag. We had our intergender tag, excuse me. We had the team of Demonic Flamita, LSG, Max the Impaler, Sledge, and Will Ferrarra, going up against the Bouncers, the world famous CB Cheeseburger, PJ Black, and Flip Gordon. Nothing much really to talk about on this one. Team of Flip Gordon, PJ Black, CB, and Bouncers got the victory. I might have given it like 2 3/4. It was a good pre-show match. Throughout the show, they had several former Ring of Honor stars give little video clips. I started off with Eddie Edwards, who's currently in Impact Wrestling, and then AEW World Heavyweight Champion Adam Page, Cowboy shit, and then CM Punk. That one was like, whoa, what? Just talking about his time in Ring of Honor and watching it grow and stuff. And he's talking about being on the first show, and then Adam Cole, and then the Young Bucks, and then Bryan Danielson. So it's kind of cool seeing those little video clips of those guys talking about Ring of Honor, especially like Punk and Cole and Danielson, because they left Ring of Honor for WWE. They left WWE for AEW, and now they can do this. They couldn't, I mean, look at Seth Rollins. He could have been there. Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens. He couldn't do stuff like that. Eventually he can. I mean, his contract's up in January. Kyle O'Reilly, his contract is up. He's gone. Johnny Gargano. The Indies in 2022 is going to be so freaking cool. First match on the main card, we had a Lucha Libre match. We had Dragon Lee and Rey Horus. Immediately when I saw this match, I'm like, that's the kind of match that I am just like all about, you know. Watching these two guys go out there and just get it on. Great match. Dragon Lee got the victory. I give it 3 3/4. One of those matches where you get kind of hyper about it when it's going on. It's like, okay, great start to the show. Now I'm awake. I'm all about it. All right, next up we had the Ring of Honor World Television title on the line in a 4-corner survival match. We had champion Dalton Castle versus Rhett Titus versus Silas Young versus Joe Hendry. Dalton Castle doesn't really do a lot for me. It's a character or anything. Rhett Titus, former tag team champion, All Night Express, and he's had a couple other tag teams he's been with. He's part of the Foundation now. Silas Young, the last real man, they call him. And then Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is kind of an up-and-coming guy. He reminds you of some of Kip Saban in AEW, that kind of type. He's from over in England. I've seen him in different promotions over there or in Europe. And I think he's got uber amount of talent. He just hasn't, because of like the pandemic, he was kind of an upward director. Yeah. He was an upward bound until the pandemic kind of stopped him. This match was nothing special. It was a typical Fatal 4-Way. You had guys doing their own little spots, and you had the power moves from Silas Young and Rhett Titus doing kind of stuff off the top rope. Dalton Castle stopping everybody from getting the pin because he's champion. Rhett Titus ended up getting the victory, which, when the Foundation was formed with Jay Lethal, Jonathan Gresham, Rhett Titus. I think it was somebody else when they first formed it. And it was about bringing the honor back to Ring of Honor, and you do everything honorably, and it's all about doing things the right way. And so having Rhett Titus win the title here, it's like, okay, I can see where they're going with this. They're kind of going to lean everything toward the Foundation, because it's the foundation of Ring of Honor, as we may be the last Ring of Honor show of all time. Next up was the Pure title, which was brought back by Jonathan Gresham. Pure Wrestling. You get 3 rope breaks, each wrestler does. You can use 1 closed fist. Count still count. DQ still count. And this is kind of like the pure base wrestling. We had the champion Josh the Good Woods, versus Brian Johnson, the Mecca. Brian Johnson can talk too much. He just talks about how great he is and how he's the best thing ever in wrestling when he's really not. This match was a pretty decent match. They used the rope breaks like boom, first minute all three rope breaks are gone. I'm like, that's kind of weird. What that does for you though, if you've never seen a pure wrestling pure rules match, once you've used your rope breaks, the ropes cannot break the count. You can get pinned in the ropes, which is actually what happened. Josh Woods submitted Brian Johnson in the ropes. I mean, these two were more brawling than, when I think of a pure wrestling match, I think of a Jonathan Gresham, Zack Sabre Jr., that type, where they just move after move, just the kind of mat-based, the pureness of wrestling, not the high-flying, not the fighting side of it. But these two guys were brawling. They almost got counted out at one point. There was like an 18, referees like at 18, they had both dived in the ring. But Josh Woods retained the Pure title. He's actually been part of the Foundation recently, so it continues the Foundation winning. I give it 3 star. Next up, we had a fight without honor match. If you're new to Ring of Honor, fight without honor match is kind of like a no DQ match, anything goes. We had Kenny King, which is the other part of the foundation, versus Shane Taylor. So you have two drastic different size guys, different wrestling guys in a fight without honor. And what I like about some of these kind of hardcore kind of matches, like Shawn Michaels used to do back in the day, you don't wear your normal ring gear. You know, come out wearing, you know, jean shorts or something different than what you normally, which is what Kenny King did. It's like you came out to fight. You came out something different, you know. These guys did do that. There was a couple of huge table spots. There was one, which I've never seen this before. So typical, you know, they get ladders out, tables out, chairs, etc. We all know the ladder spot where they lay the ladder across from the ring to the rail by the fans, and then you do a backdrop or something to put somebody through that table, or that ladder, that ladder. So when they did this spot, not only did they have the ladder across there, Shane Taylor, who's 350, 400-pound guy, climbs on this ladder, walking on it with Kenny King. He had two of the guys by ringside holding the ladder against the barrier. They ended up doing like a power slam or something through the ladder, which obviously hurt Kenny King, but it also hurt Shane Taylor. So he couldn't get him in the ring. He ended up kicking out. They had the two ladders set up in the ring with the ladder in between it. Kenny King climbed up the ladder and did like a freaking swanton to kind of move off of it. Put Shane Taylor through the ladder. Still didn't get the pin. But Shane Taylor ended up getting the victory. I ended up giving us 3.5 because those ladder shots were pretty sick, you know. Next up, we had the Ring of Honor World Women's title on the line. We had champion Roxy versus Willow. Roxy was trained by Booker T down in Reality of Wrestling. And then Willow, she goes by Willow Nightingale in some of the indie promotions, or just Willow. Uber talented. Just, a way to describe her. I mean, she's a little bit bigger. But I mean, just talented, very happy-go-lucky, kind of what Mickie James was when she first came into WWE, with a little more power to her. Very talented. This actually was a really good women's match. Ring of Honor doesn't typically have a lot of good women's matches over the years. Roxy ended up getting the victory here. I give it 3.25. Good match. When the match was over, Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuosa from Impact Wrestling, music hit. She comes out. She challenged Roxy to a title match for the Ring of Honor Women's title. Deonna is also the AAA Women's Champion, the Miranda Dell something or another, and she's got a match coming up against Mickie James for the Impact title. She said, once I win the Impact title back, why don't you and I fight title versus title? I'm like, oh, okay. I think that's going to be freaking pretty good. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I know at Hard to Kill, and that's when Deonna faces Mickie James. I don't know if they would put that on Impact or exactly where they would do that at. But, hey, I'm all in. Sounds like a really great match. So we had Roxy retaining the Ring of Honor Women's title. Next up, we had a 8-man tag. We had Violence Unlimited, Homicide, Brody King, and Tony Deppen teaming up with Rocky Romero of Chaos of New Japan Pro Wrestling. We had Chris Dickinson out at ringside. Chris Dickinson, the Dirty Daddy's been hurt. He got hurt in a Game Changer show here probably, 3-4 months ago. He should be out another 3-4 months. It was a pretty serious injury. They go up against the team of Tracy Williams, Eli Isom, Taylor Rust, and EC3. It's kind of a random team thrown together because initially it's supposed to be a 6-man Violence Unlimited versus Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, Eli Isom, and Taylor Rust. but they added EC3 and Rocky Romero for some reason. This match was good for what it was. A 6-man tag. No 6-man tags go. Violence Unlimited got the victory. I give it 3 1/4. But what was better was what came about from this. You had EC3 cut a promo at the end of it, talking about. One second here. We'll pull something up online. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, we had EC3. Oh, I forgot to write it down. I had to look it up. Cutting a promo, control your narrative. Just kept going on about it. Like I've heard this before. Control your narrative. What do I hear this for? He's talking about it. All of a sudden, we have 2 guys standing at the ring and coming down the ramp. One of them, I want to say it was Buddy Matthews, but I thought it was Buddy Murphy at first, but it was Wesley Blake, former WWE star. And I couldn't see who the other guy was. And they kept talking about Titan. I'm like, okay, they're kind of taking it's more of a jab at WWE because WWE Titan Towers used to be Titan Sports. I'm like, okay, we all get that. And they kept saying it. And then they had this big guy start coming out. Adam Shear, formerly known as Braun Strowman, calling the Titan, come out and started attacking Eli Isom and Tracy Williams with EC3 and then Wesley Blake. So I don't know if this is going to be a faction on the indies, but that's something that Braun Strowman or Adam Shear has been saying since he got fired from WWE was about, control his own narrative, kind of when you're not in WWE, you can do that. You can have your own character, you can do stuff yourself and go to different promotions and stuff. But yeah, it was kind of like, okay, this is kind of cool, but where does this go? Do we take it to other indie shows, which is fine with me? But it was like kind of like, okay, so we got the Ring of Honor debut of Braun Strowman on their last show. Next up, we had the Ring of Honor tag titles on the line. We had current champion, the original Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, versus the 11-time Ring of Honor tag team champions, the Briscoes, Mark and Jay Briscoe. They were on the very first Ring of Honor show. They are currently Game Changer Wrestling tag team champions. Here they are back in the Ring of Honor for the Ring of Honor titles. When this match started, I'm like, if this is really going to be it, how do you not have this as main event? It's the Briscoes. According to Corey Silkin, there was a coin flip between the tag titles and the world title being main event. So this was your sub main. You just had one hell of a tag match. This could go down in the history of one of the top 15 to 20 tag matches in Ring of Honor history for the tag titles. But both these teams did everything. When you hit 2 J Drillers and a Froggy on Matt Taven in order to get the pinfall, what a match. The Briscoes got the victory. I gave it 4 1/4. This was match of the night. As soon as the match was over, you had Jay Briscoe grab a microphone, his lights go out. Music hit. FTR. Holy crap. Former AEW World Tag Team Champion. Former AAA Tag Team Champion. Yeah, FTR. Was it Dax Hardwood and Cash Wheeler? Yeah, they came out brawling with the Briscoes, challenging the Briscoes. Of course, they tried to break them up. At one point, the FTR was in the ring, Briscoes on the outside. FTR picks up the Ring of Honor tag titles and holds them up. I don't know where this match is going to take place. But wherever it is, I'm going to watch because it's going to be good. But yeah, so right now, Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion for the 12th time. Them boys, them Briscoe brothers, J. Mark Briscoe, 4.25 star match here. Your main event for the vacated Ring of Honor World Heavyweight title. Bandito was champion. He came down with COVID. Following COVID protocols, he could not defend the title, so they stripped him of it. So we had Foundation member Jonathan Gresham versus former Foundation member Jay Lethal. Lethal, already a former two-time Ring of Honor World Champion, the longest reigning World Champion in single run since, I think, Nigel. He had like 6 overall. I mean, so all of his title reigns together, he has the most days held the title. Excuse me with that. He has the most days held the Ring of Honor tag titles and the most days holds the TV title. He was part of Foundation. He was part of the creator of the Foundation. Here, probably 2 or 3 episodes ago on the weekly show, you had a audio clip of him saying the Foundation sucks. The hell with the Foundation. And you had the Foundation members going, dude, what the hell? And he's like, no, I didn't do this. This literally happened probably a week before Jay Lethal showed up in AEW. So you kind of, that was his out of Ring of Honor into AEW kind of thing, which is kind of cool. The fact that Tony Khan let him come back and do this match. You had a feeling he wasn't going to win. But you know what? Jonathan Gresham's going to be wrestling on New Japan Strong. Jay Lethal's going to be wrestling in AEW. This match was just a back and forth. It was more of a mat-based match, was what I was kind of looking for between these two guys. And then you had the entire locker room come out and be around ringside during the match. You had Jonathan Gresham's wife, Jordan Grace, down on ringside, which was kind of cool. And this was just one of those matches where it's like you didn't want it to end. And new Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion by submission, the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham. Give this match 4-star. It was just super, super good. Super just mat-based, kind of what these two wrestlers and what the pure style of Ring of Honor has been about. If this was or wasn't the final show in Ring of Honor history, I think in 2022, this talent these guys have on this roster, they got to go somewhere. They all can't go to AEW. We know that. They all can't go to Impact Wrestling. So here in 2021, I've watched almost 7,800 pro wrestling matches. Some of the independent companies that I've watched shows for, some of the most Game Changer Wrestling, which I've done multiple videos about Game Changer. I'm a huge fan of Game Changer Wrestling. Progress Wrestling, AAW, Rev Pro, Beyond Wrestling, NWA, AIW, New South Pro Wrestling, Northeast Wrestling, Action Wrestling, MLW, Limitless Wrestling, Glory Pro Wrestling, Global GSW, Global Syndicate Wrestling, which I've watched 38 matches with them this year, Warrior Wrestling, over the OTT over in Ireland, AML, AAA obviously, West Coast Pro Wrestling. They've had some great shows. New Texas Pro Wrestling. But yeah, those 7,800 matches, I've watched at least 100 matches for 17 different companies. So if you take out WWE, AEW, New Japan, and Ring of Honor, you got Impact Wrestling, Game Changer, Progress, AAW, Rev Pro, Beyond Wrestling, NWA. So there's a ton of independent companies out there that put on great shows that this talent can go to. I honestly can believe less than 5 will go to WWE. This is my feeling on it. Less than 5. What I would like to see happen is Tony Khan, AEW, buy the Ring of Honor library, buy the rights to the Honor Club, and create their own streaming service You upload because you buy the library for Ring of Honor, put that all in your streaming service. The AEW stuff. Go to these other promotions like a Game Changer Wrestling. Who else? Probably. Wrestler Revolver, they have some great shows. Glory Pro. And work with them and put their content on your Honor Club. Do the pay-per-views on there, which AEW's been looking to do. It's a win-win, I think. That way you got your own streaming service, but yet you got a library of Ring of Honor that second to none some of their content. You can work with other promotions and put some stuff on there. You can also, some people may not like this idea, is use Ring of Honor, the name, as your developmental. Kind of like NXT is to WWE, have that for Ring of Honor for AEW. So it's kind of owned by, to basically Tony would buy the company, buy the naming rights at least, buy the library, the naming rights. Have your Ring of Honor, have you, one show a week, have it on your new Honor Club. It can replace like Dark Elevation. You could keep the lineage of the titles. You could still have Dark on YouTube. You have Rampage on TNT. You have Dynamite on TBS. Those Ring of Honor, again, your developmental, you put their own kind of like the takeovers were on your own Honor Club, or you can put them as part of your normal shows. And it's just something I've been kind of thinking about, because this talent's got to go somewhere. I hate for some of these girls to be out of wrestling, but it's there's so many companies out there. I think they'll be okay. I think this talent will spread out. I think 2022 can be great for independent wrestling. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a huge, as you can tell, independent wrestling fan. I've became that over the last 2 or 3 years. Something that J-Man actually gave me the idea of in 2020s. So 2020, 2021 on through 2029. I'm going to keep watching the wrestling I watch, have my database set up for everything, and then 2030, I'm going to do the best of the decades of the 2020s, like the top 1,000 matches or something. I just think that'll be kind of a really intriguing thing to do in 10 years, to see where from 2020 through 2029, how the matches changed, how the names change. But that is going to wrap up Ring of Honor Final Battle Independent Era review. As always, thanks for watching the ROH Sports Show, and don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. ROH Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports center content.